How's it going, everybody? My name is Jim and welcome to FSD Driver. Today we're driving in version 12.5.4.2 and we are driving in a Hardware 3 car. Now, it is the end of January and we still have no sight of seeing FSD hardware upgrades for Hardware 3 vehicles. Now, there are people on X claiming that there are rollouts happening to different AI 3 vehicles or Hardware 3 vehicles, but I've still yet to see it on any of my Teslas. Now, this is actually a new Tesla. This is my 2022 Model Y. It had 31,000 miles. Now, Tesla has a lot of incentives, and they gave me a good price for my Model 3. I paid about $4,000 out of pocket. I moved from a 2019 Model 3 rear-wheel drive standard range plus to a 2022 Model Y. This is a long-range all-wheel drive with the acceleration boost, and it only had 31,000 miles. My other car had 43,000. So I think this was a good trade, especially for the 5,000 cash out of pocket. So fantastic incentives, especially because they just announced the Model Y refresh. They released this in China. Now, as of today, you can actually pre-order it on the United States or the North American site, and there will be deliveries in March of 2025. But it is overpriced in my opinion, but we can get into that on another video. So I've noticed a lot of differences though in 12.5.4.2 when I go vehicle to vehicle. So I've mentioned this before in the past. So I feel like FSD is not a fleet thing. I feel like it's to the individual car. So my 2019 Model 3 was amazing. I had a great experience in FSD almost every drive. Yes, there were little occasions. Yes, there are still bugs in the system, such as slamming its brakes on at green light intersections. That is still prevalent across all of the cars that I've driven in. But that car was very good at the highway. It would get off of its exit ramps. It would leave you plenty of time. With this car, I've noticed that it actually hugs the left side of the road quite a bit. It will actually drive on the double yellow line. It will drive on the white line. The other thing that I noticed as well is that this will cut over at the last second to get off of highway ramps or to get onto them, which I've never experienced before. Now, my wife's Model Y, hers is a 2020, and that acts completely different from both of these vehicles with other little things. So there's nothing that is normal about FSD. I feel like it's the individual user and what your car is doing. Now, you'll notice that I do have an error message on my screen. What that is on the right side pillar, there is water drops that are in the inside of the car. So it tells me two things. The previous owner never drove an FSD, or they would get this warning and FSD would not turn on. So like auto steer won't turn on later on in this video. But the second thing it tells me is I have fantastic warranty because this is a used Tesla. It's 31,000 miles. It's under warranty. I made a service appointment. Tesla will fix this for free. And I get an additional year of warranty and 10,000 miles on my actual vehicle. So this car, it acts completely different. I'll show you this. What I'm going to do is I will speed up the video to save you time, and then I will slow it down, and I will tell you what is actually happening. right, guys, so we're coming up on our first problem here. So I need to be all the way into the right lane. I don't want to miss my exit. You can clearly see on my map, it's telling me I need to be in these 2 lanes. There's no cars around me. It's open. There's no one behind me. There's no one off to the right where I need to go. But the car just ignores this. And I didn't even notice as I was driving. I just thought everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I see out of the corner of my eye, everything changed on my GPS coordinates. So now it has me looping through the actual city. So now what I have to do is I have to get off an off ramp, go through the actual city, go through a couple traffic lights, get back on the highway just so I can take the actual exit I was supposed to back there. So it is really frustrating because this caused a ton of time on my commute, and this is the middle of the day. Imagine if this was rush hour traffic. This could take potentially hours. Now, the reason I'm keeping the video going here is because we're actually going to come up into our first intervention now. So you'll notice that this is a 2-lane road. I am supposed to be in the right lane because I need to take a right. The car decides to just kind of stand in its own lane. It merges down to 1. There's a bike lane on the right, but it needs to move over into that bike lane to take the turn. Now, because the car is just sitting there, this other person decided, well, I need to take the turn. So he's in the proper lane taking the right-hand turn. My car is not. In fact, my car will just sit here and it will start to think that it needs to do something. You'll notice my steering wheel is slightly moving, so it knows it needs to do something, but it's not going to do anything. So I'm sitting here. There's a couple cars behind me. There's actually a gentleman who will honk his horn at me shortly, and then I will grab the wheel and I will break out of it. There I go. And then I just decide to take the turn. So it is a little frustrating that that is not working. Now, the second thing, this is what I was talking about. I cannot get FSD to turn back on. So there is some type of water droplet that has dried up in the glass on the inside of my car. And now that the sun is hitting it just right, it is saying that there is something in the way of the pillar and that I cannot engage full self-driving. Now, I keep trying to do this as I go, and eventually, once I get out of the sunlight, I can turn it back on and the car will start going, but it will still pop up that warning message that there's an actual issue. So I'm going to go ahead, start to speed up this footage, and then I will slow it down if we have another intervention. So we are coming up on our second intervention here, and what is basically happening is a gentleman is on the side of the road in the shoulder. He's in a semi truck. He's out of his vehicle right now. He's in my lane, and he's getting into his truck, and the car does not want to move over, so I have to manually move over. Now, could I have passed him? Yes, but the common courtesy thing to do for emergencies, emergency vehicles, people on the side of the road, is we give them room. We move over so they have room so we don't hit somebody. What if he were to open his door? What if he did not move out of the way in time and get in his vehicle? Our cars need to be smarter, and they need to move over when they see those vehicles. Now, I don't know if it's a lack of radar, but I felt like I was going at a high pace of speed there because we are going 60 something miles an hour. And this gentleman was standing in my lane. And even though we passed him and he got in his car, we still need to move over. So I broke it out of FSD just to play it safe, put it back in FSD. And I think that's just an edge case. But what I'm going to do is speed up, and then we'll slow down for the next one. So we're coming up on our last intervention here. The car, again, does not move over into the right lane. I need to be into the right lane. There's nobody around me, but the car is just going to ignore it, and it's just going to maintain its speed, and it's going to miss it. But I break it out of FSD because I do not want to miss that turn. And this is something that I noticed just with this car. So every car is a unique experience. I feel like it really does come down to the individual and the car, not really the fleet. So I honestly believe 12.5.4.2 and all of these other versions, I believe it's very different, and everybody has different experiences because it's really catered towards your vehicle. I know for a fact that my 2019 Model 3 would not have missed that turn because that car was moving over properly well before I needed to take off ramps. Also, it never hugged one side of the road. It just kind of stayed centered. So I'm going to have Tesla look at the car when they fix the pillar issue that's going on and see if that helps. And then I'll do a couple more tests, and let's get back to our old setup where we can show the whole screen without any glare or anything. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.